So my first attempt was in 2022 after completing my post-graduation. Then I gave my first attempt in 2022. Then I could somehow I could clear prelims, mains, and I got into the interview stage, and my name was on the rank list. I cleared with the All India rank of 910. So then I got into the service called Indian Railway Management Service, and I am currently working as a probationer in the same under the Department of Traffic. And then in 2023, I gave my second attempt. Here also I cleared and I got into the rank list, but my rank was more or less the same. It was 956, so I couldn't get a service upgradation. So that was kind of one of the lowest points in my life because I wanted some improvement and I had put a 1 year long effort for getting some service upgradation, but I couldn't achieve the same. So third attempt, I gave my third attempt as well. But here in the first stage of prelims, I couldn't get in. So I had to go back to the next attempt again. So that's how I gave my 2024 attempt. And this was my fourth attempt. And that is how I cleared got into the rank list with a rank of 167. Hopefully, I am expecting my, dream job of IAS. Since my dissertation topic was on marital rape, I think I got one or two questions regarding the same from the interview board in the personality test. So the primary thing was they asked about what my thesis was on, what my findings were, what was my research topic. So I replied about the research topics like why India still has not criminalized marital rape despite it being a Britain invention and all of that. So the most important question or the controversial question that we can consider was why is so one of the board members basically asked why India is not criminalizing marital rape. If at all we are criminalizing marital rape, Kajal, don't you think that the institution of marriage will collapse? So that was the most important question, and that is something we consider as controversial as well, because we generally know that marriage is considered as a sacred institution and it is considered as a holy institution. So while replying to such questions, we'll have to be a bit more careful, especially when on this topic of marital rape, the government has been taking a conventional stand. So we cannot outrightly criticize the stand or something like that. So my reply to that question was, sir, yes, it is true that if marital rape is criminalized, there are chances that institutions of marriage might collapse. But my idea of marriage is that marriage is a very sacred institution built on pillars of respect and dignity. So ultimately, I think that if there is something like marital rape inside a marriage or family, it is not considered sacred, or it is considered as a violent institution or unholy institution. So in such situations, that institution of marriage has to collapse. Only then it can, actually do justice to what the institution actually stands for. So that was my stand to the board member. So I think that is more or less, something when something like marital rape comes up, you cannot in any way you cannot justify it, even if it is a stand of government as well, because it is very discriminative of the provisions of Indian Constitution. It violates all the articles of Indian Constitution, especially 14, 21 and all of that. So in such questions, we should not outrightly criticize the government stand, but we can say that, but when we answer such controversial questions, I feel that we can justify these arguments based on the articles of Indian Constitution. So if at all we justify these arguments based on Indian Constitution, I think that will be valid. So we need not fear how the board would take it, because ultimately we are emphasizing our answers on Indian Constitution and its judgments or Supreme Court judgments or anything else. First thing I made sure was I was going through newspaper every day. Regardless if it was mains or prelims or interview, I was completely following newspaper. So during prelims preparation, I think I had, so my training was around 9, starting from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. or 4:30 p.m. This was roughly my schedule. So mostly after my classes end, I make sure that I prepare well for the exam. And in our training, one unique feature is that we have a lot of travel as well. So sometimes there are opportunities that I can go home. So sometimes there would be a training schedule where the schedule won't be much hectic. So I would try to utilize those days very religiously. So, and most of our time since we are in Indian Railway Management Service, most of our time we are almost traveling in trains only. So during this travel as well, I used to make sure that if I don't study something new also, I'll try to do my revisions in train. So that was also roughly my schedule. And during mains as well, I think after the class schedule ends, I would study till 12:30, and then I'll wake up around 7:30. Then I'll try to finish the portions again after the class ends. So that was my roughly my schedule. Interview compared to prelims and mains, it is less hectic. You don't have to invest most of the time into interview. So there my schedule was like I can like I have scored reasonably well in the previous interview, so I was not very much tense about the interview as such. But I had already given the same DAF. I mean, the detailed application was same for my first, second, and like fourth attempt as well. So comparatively I had notes on the same. So I did not have to prepare much on the interview part, but my speaking practice I tried to increase it a bit more this time. First and primary thing that kept me motivated, that I got into this Indian Railway Management Service in my first attempt itself. So that is something people do not usually get a chance. Like people do not usually clear in their first attempt. So when I cleared in my first attempt, I felt very lucky and I felt very relieved because I have a very good job in my hand. So that was one primary motivating factor. The second and third factors are like, even though I'm in Indian Railway Management Service, somewhere I felt that this was not my area of interest. And IAS had been my childhood dream as well. So I felt that, okay, if not in this attempt, maybe in the next or third attempt, I would be able to reach that position. Because I've already been in the list and I'm maybe somewhere few marks away, I'm somewhere in the list again. So I can make it. And then obviously we already have the enough support of family, friends, and all of them. And they also keep telling us that you can achieve this goal, you will be able to do it in the right way and all of that. My friends were also there. So since I have attempted this exams like 3 times, I already have my mark list in my hand where I can clearly analyze and get points in such a way that where do I lack? What do I lack? Like, where are the areas that I stand behind? So I can make a systematic and scientific approach towards improving this area and giving my next attempt. And I think, I don't know if this is a very valid reason, but I also think that somewhere I felt that as a woman, as a girl child, as a differently able child, the position in our society would not be up to the people who are considered generally normal. So that is also a disadvantage to us. So this was also like one primary factor that kept me motivating, that as a woman I'll have to face many struggles. Sometimes I'll have to prove, compared to men, I'll have to prove doubly that I am capable of something, like my male counterparts. So I think all of these added to what kept motivating me. I think there would be multiple challenges, like not just as a differently able person, but as a woman as well. Especially when I talk to my female counterparts in the service, I have already started getting this, their opinion and their ideas about how they are not being, respected like their male counterparts, or how they have to prove, as I already told, how they have to prove like in a double manner, like have to multiply their effects and how they have to prove to show their capability. So I think such problems would be there, but as of now, like until this point of time in my training, I have not faced any such problem or any such discrimination. And again, it's just a training phase. Maybe as a person who gets onto the field, that we would understand what are the challenges we would face. Actually, when I was a child, when I was seeing all those movies, Malayalam movies and all, I used to see how district collector goes to a field, goes to a society, helps the marginalized, most underprivileged sections of the society, and how he or she can, create a lot of impact in the lives of people. This was one thing that actually motivated me to take up this job. But then, as I grew up, I started understanding that maybe not great changes might be possible, but we might be able to create small impacts in the lives of people. So, and I also had this privilege to interact with the district collector of my own district, like Kasargod, Sri Imbashegaran sir. So actually, I had this wonderful experience of sitting sometime in his chamber, and he made me, sit there for some time to understand what kind of works he actually does. So he was telling me that this is a very good opportunity to, help people to interact on ground level with the people, understand their challenges, create little impacts in their life. So I think that is something I look forward to. To like, I also consider that our signature sometimes becomes or plays a very great role in creating impacts in the lives of people. So I believe that if I can create any such impact in the lives of people, I would be very grateful. And especially, I look forward to working or creating changes in the lives of marginalized sections like women, differently abled, or the underprivileged sections like SC, ST. So I think if I get opportunities in these fields as well, I would like to utilize it to the maximum.